All right, guys, we're back. Episode 9 with Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay with DynastyPandemic.com and, of course, Dynasty Trades in 5.
Hey, that's Scott. He's with Manic and Chill and also Dynasty and Chill.
And that's Shane. Thank you, Shane, for stealing my introduction and telling everybody who I was if they don't know from the first 8 episodes.
Today, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts, of course, after that hot mess of a performance. We have a rabid Eagles fan here to my right, if you're looking at the screen. No, left. Anyway. And then and Scott's got some thoughts, too. So let's just get into it. Shane, you're moving around in your chair over there, ready to talk about Hurts, so go for it.
I'm out. I'm so out. I'm so out. No, we talked about this earlier in a couple of our chats. There's 2 ways to play it. If I think I can win a championship this year, I have no problem keeping Hurts or acquiring Hurts. If my team looks like it's not going to be a contender, he's gone.
We've seen the outcry of the different sides of Jalen Hurts, right? Like, he's a top 4 fantasy quarterback right now, but the consensus pretty much is that he's not going to last as a starter past this year. So you pretty much know you're investing in a grenade that's going to go off at some point. But I mean, we've talked about it on other shows too. Like, you're getting a difference maker at the position. This is the equivalent of getting like a Darren Waller or Travis Kelce, or the positional advantage. You're getting it. And it's funny because last night they only ran 45 plays, which is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. If you told me 45 plays and 12 completions, I would say avoid every single player in the game that's on his team. Yet he still is probably going to be a top 5 quarterback on the week.
If you knew a player was going to be top 5 at their position, but never do it again, what would you pay for that player in Dynasty? Because that's what's going to happen here. Because he's not a starter next year, unless something completely like a complete 180 hits, and he learns how to anticipate throws and throw people open, and he improves his accuracy and his arm strength. I don't see all that happening. So what would you give up for him?
I'd give it 22 first. That's about it. But I'd give it 22 first if it's going to be back half. What about you, Scott?
Well, I think here's the other thing is, what is this? I guess basically what Shane is saying is that you already know, regardless of how he plays, even if he absolutely smashes, I think he's already done enough to almost prove to the Eagles. And, you know, we could get a whole nother show about this, what Shane's thoughts on how the Eagles are structured and the offense that they run. But it's almost like it already feels like they've given up on him being the future. So they're not even giving him a legitimate shot. It's not like, hey, if we win, if we go 500 the rest of the way, we're going to give you another chance next year. No, they're going to draft his replacement. Now, can he stave off the replacement and maybe get a couple starts next year? Maybe. But I think the argument is you got to treat him almost like a running back. I mean, what's going to happen to Derrick Henry's value in the offseason? It's going to tank. Then it's going to slowly ramp up if it looks like he's going to get the same workload for the 20th straight year.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Same with Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook. All those guys are going to fall because people go, oh, it can't last another year, can it? And then when it does, or when you think it might, then the value is going to go back up. So you know you're going to get a stock that's going to plummet more than 50% once we get to January. It's not going to be movable in April. You're not going to be able to get a late first in it. People are just not going to want to take any risk. There's going to be no market for him in the offseason. So I guess the question is, what do you think is going to happen long term? You already know you're buying points this year. You could win the title on the back of Jalen Hurts. So I think I'm leaning more towards buying. I definitely give up the 22 first if it's a playoff first, even if it's a mid first, just because I think that class is going to be weak. I'm going to end up having to take a receiver at the 105, and that just doesn't excite me.
Selling him, what are you going to sell him for? What do you hit accept on if you're not a contender, just to get rid of his ass?
Basically, anything including a first, including just a first, will probably get it done.
All right, so what if somebody says, I'm not giving up a starting quarterback and a first? So I'll give you Daniel Jones in a second. You do that?
No.
Okay. Matt Ryan in a second.
No, you're giving me a first.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, if I come to you with a lesser quarterback that's not going to finish in the top 12 and give you a second, you're not going to basically give me the title for that price. You're going to hold out for more. You want that first. That's got to be in the deal, regardless of what the throw-in pieces are, right?
It's the only way I make the move. And I'm going to be able to get it based off of 3 trades, 2 I have in principle done. Fix your settings, commissioners, and one that I've